See it there. That. So yeah,
That's
so we're live.
that's my cousin Evelyn. Why she waved at like 2:20?
I saw that. What was that about?
She
How
probably that's probably I think when I think I did share the link for them to join us like earlier today. So
okay.
maybe she went
Oh, honey,
on
she was
to
on here like 2 o'clock.
How do they
yeah.
get in if it's not anybody can get in if they have the link?
Yeah, well, like I can even go to YouTube now. Even before we go live, you'll see coming soon or coming up at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
And
but
you
getting
can
in
hit
the
the
room or being able to comment on the show already
no, just
on
comment on the show at YouTube, but you
oh,
won't
okay.
see us. You'll just see that profile picture that you put as a profile. That's all they see.
Got you.
But yeah,
All right, TK, help me out on comments tonight. Anybody jumps in the house, you see Sarah there today. So
I
go ahead
got
and
you. Listen,
welcome everybody.
Sarah and Kimberly, Sarah and Kim gonna be here. You
Yeah, they're
understand?
here. They're here. I know those profile
Baby
pics.
Yes.
Kimberly bought tickets to the ball. Hey, Kimberly, thank you for your
Yes, I
support.
get to
I
see
cannot wait to see you.
you.
Yep, yep.
Sarah's in the house. Kimberly's in the house. Good evening.
Trina's
And of
here.
course,
There's Gloria.
listen, I got to talk about Katrina. I got to talk about Katrina and Ryan. Katrina, I saw that your husband had two TVs in one room to pick up two separate football games. Is he going to come on because it's Monday Night Football? He probably trying to watch his Monday Night Football. But
Yeah,
he has,
speaking of which,
listen, Ryan, don't you even try it. You stay right here. Who's playing tonight? I don't even know. Hi, Mama
Seahawks in Denver. Russ got traded from Seahawks to Denver. Denver gets to
Gloria.
see his
Wow.
old team. I believe today's Monday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday Night
Yeah, he's
Football.
gonna vibe out
Good
tonight.
evening, Mama Gloria. Good evening, everybody. Sarah Santana, how y'all doing?
Yes.
All right, everybody, let's get this thing started.
Yes.
You know what I just realized I didn't do? I didn't put the cards up for the topics, but I have the banners. So we're gonna run the banner and I'll introduce the topic. And do I have my image that I uploaded? It should be here. Did y'all delete it?
I didn't touch a thing.
Oh no, I see it. I got it. It's there. It's
Doctor.
there. Welcome everybody to another episode of Talk Miami. Y'all haven't seen me in a minute. I don't know if it's the universe telling me to take a break. Everybody needs take a little moment away. Too much Ryan David for a minute. I'm not
What's a
sure what it
break?
You
is.
ain't going nowhere. You can't leave us.
Last episode was hosted by Cindy, and my microphone just out of nowhere just randomly was shorting out, tripping, so I couldn't join you all. And then obviously we were off last weekend, last Monday, I should say. We had Labor Day, so I hope everybody has been doing well out there since the last time I was here, and I hope y'all had a good weekend. I have to mention yesterday's 9/11. Never forget.
Yes.
Pretty wild when it comes around now this far along, because it's not really it's kind of in our distant memory. We don't think about it on a day-to-day basis until it comes back around. Then you're like, wow, yeah, I remember when that thing was stained in my mind. So it's really easy to move on. But I just really want to recognize all of obviously all of the people who passed away in that incident and during that time frame, but all of the heroes as well that are that are people who played a role in helping save lives, but also
Right.
our uniform heroes now. If something were to take place now, who would it be that was running into the buildings to help us? God bless them. So I just want to recognize that. And again, like I say, when it comes around, I always ask myself and look at was it 22? It was 22 years this year. When it was 20, I thought like it was just crazy how time flies and
Yeah.
how it seemed like it was just yesterday. I know that at least for me, and I'm sure for you ladies, we're old enough to remember you should be where you were. And I teach it in my class. It's one of those things I call a flashbulb memory, where you know exactly where you were the moment you heard about it or saw it. Now, this happens when your child walks for the first time, or when it
Right.
happens. It's just one of those memories. And like
Right.
I can tell you the apartment room I was in college and what the room looked like the moment I saw that plane fly into that tower. So you always want to keep that, and obviously be grateful for the fact that we are here and we have our freedom and we have our abilities and we made it through. So just want to recognize 9/11. That was yesterday. It's happy Monday for everybody. Hopefully, who do we have in the comments today? We have a couple of people who joined us today.
Yes.
We have Evelyn, Sarah, Kimberly, Katrina, some regulars there. Gloria. Who else do we have here? Anybody I'm missing? TK. We got Ryan's in the building.
Ryan's watching football and watching us. He's dedicated.
That's dedication right there, man. That's dedication. Week one
Hey,
of the
Ryan,
NFL.
Katrina.
Week one, and you're out here watching Talk Miami with Monday Night Football on. That's what I call dedicated right there.
He's committed. He'll probably have 3 TVs. Watch out, Katrina, if he comes home with another TV.
Hey, I like it. That's dedication. Gotta recognize, also mention that you don't see Cindy in the picture. Apparently, she has had some technical issues on her end with the power outage wherever she is in the world right now. I don't know if exactly we got some more details on Cindy's situation, but I know it was a power outage. She's trying everything she can to get logged in, but when the power's out, obviously the Wi-Fi is out, generally speaking, so that's going to be a struggle for her. If she gets an opportunity, she said that she will join, but we'll keep it rolling without her today. Like I said, I don't have the cards, but we're going to jump right into the topics tonight.
Wait, I got you.
Talk to me.
Oh, we always got you. See,
hey, that's what I'm talking about. I got my back. It's not a one-person show here. We're a team.
Right.
There we go. So topic number 1, you see it. Dating preferences. How much do they matter? Do they matter? How much do they matter? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about dating preferences a little bit, and I want to talk about them for a specific reason. But before I get into the particulars, let's just talk specifically, or I should say talk particularly about you all and your take on this matter. Let me frame the question in a way where maybe we can actually have a conversation about it, and then I'll get to where I'm going about it. So dating preferences. I know I have a banner here somewhere. Let me run this banner below everything here. We have this. It's topic 1. Where do we have banner topic? Here we go. Dating preferences. How much do they matter? All right. So when we say we did already deal breakers, I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about deal breakers when we're dating, but this isn't that. This isn't something that's going on with a person's character or their behavior. That's a deal breaker. Here, we're just generally talking about preferences, and generally we're talking about attraction is really what we're talking about. Initial attraction, preferences, taste, these sort of things. And we do have them. I'm not going to psychoanalyze where they come from and why our preferences are where they are and why our tastes what they are and why we have our certain types. But I just want to talk about the idea of having a type or a preference in other people. How much do they matter? And what does it say about you if you do prefer a certain person with certain, say, physical characteristics over somebody who doesn't have those characteristics? And a 2-part question. 1, what does it mean? What does it say about you if that's the case? And then 2, have you ever dated or been attracted to somebody that you were surprised? You don't have to get too personal, but you were surprised because they weren't, quote, your type, or they had characteristics about them that you didn't think you were attracted to. Let's start with that one. Have you ever dated or been attracted to somebody or known somebody that they dated someone that wasn't generally their type, but it actually worked out? I don't know what your all's take is on that. But I'm wondering, 1, if you have a type and if you have preferences in your mind, and then 2, if you basically found yourself ever in a position or know somebody who dated someone that wasn't initially their type or their who they would prefer, I guess, initially.
Why are you smiling, Shonda? What you got to say?
Because I was thinking while he was talking, and I want the world to know that I've never dated anyone but my husband.
Okay, fair enough. We're moving on.
I'm like, really, Shonda, the lies.
I like that, though.
That's why I was laughing. Like, let me stop. But during my dating years, 18 years ago, there was maybe a couple that I know I didn't like. I don't like men without a backbone. If I could run over you, I don't want you. But I may play with you for a little bit to see what I could get. Back then, I'm not that person anymore. But there was times in my life where I was like, if you meet somebody, you know what? He may not even aesthetically be someone you would typically date, but you just, entertain it for a moment. And then as the conversation go on, you may find out, okay, this is not the person. But back then, I may have seen something else I could get out the relationship. And then, but after a while, that gets old too. You're like, you know what? Let me just stop playing because this is not worth it. So
this sounds like a deal breaker though. If they don't have a backbone, that's a deal breaker. But what
definitely a deal breaker? Definitely
what about a preference? Like, say you like tall, thin men, and then you meet a man who has a little bit of, got big bones to him, and you're like, man, I never would have thought I would have dated that man. Or you know, for me, maybe it's for men, it's like, you know, I'm not really into blondes. I've always been into brunettes, but then you meet a blonde and you're like, wow. So this kind of thing, TK?
She knows where I'm going. I don't know if you remember this, but I have a 666 rule, and I really stick to it, Ryan.
Are we going to be able to talk about all the sixes here?
Right.
Yes.
I'm so wait. And I'm gonna keep
it PG, but y'all would know what that 6 means when I get there, right?
All right.
So he
I'm
has
6
to
foot
be
tall. We'll start
he
with
has
that.
to be 6 feet or taller.
Okay.
She's 5'1".
He has to make 6 figures or more.
Okay.
And he has to be 6 inches or bigger.
Okay,
Do you understand me? I make sure.
I need a sound bite for this. I need
I know you got one.
I need something like a check or something. Like I need something.
I really stick to that 666 rule. I really do.
I don't have I don't have it.
Wait,
good. Yeah, no.
I want to know, do y'all have standards in rooms too? Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I was clapping for me because all 6 checks. All 3 checks.
Excuse. What?
No, I'm just kidding. I like it though. You got to have it. So, okay. So let's review real quick. Just as a man, I'm going to counter that, TK. So you have a 666 rule. So is that a deal breaker?
It's not a deal breaker. I will, if he has something else that makes up for that, I'll take it.
Okay, so there is potentially compensation. Your standard is let me go for the 666, and if something is not quite 6, then
and I'll be honest with you, who I ended up marrying was totally opposite than what I like, and I'm gonna share this with you guys. I love dark chocolate. All of my exes really pretty much have been chocolate. I just love that dark chocolate, and I end up marrying a light-skinned dude. So here go 2 light-skinned people together. It just happened to be that way, but he fell into those other 666 rules. So I made an exception for that light skinness.
That's what I'm saying.
But I was attracted, and I always have been attracted to darker men.
What was the second 6, TK? It wasn't 6 figures, was it?
6 feet. Yeah, 6 feet, 6 feet and taller. Make 6 figures or more.
Wait, off top, just when you meet them, make 6 figures right away?
Baby, we almost going into 7 together.
But when did this come about? How long have you had the 666 rule? Since you're 22?
No, I had to accomplish it myself, and then I always want someone to be right there with me.
Okay.
I can't tell. When I was thinking about your question when you texted to us last night, I do love, and Shonda, you know this phrase, finding your equally yoked partner. Mm-hmm. I love someone that can compliment. Because if I come in with that much, I don't want someone to be intimidated. So I want to find someone who is already established and already accomplished the things that I've done so that now we could they're already great, but now let's be great together.
But you're also willing to say, look, I'm not expecting you to have something or work for something or achieve something that I am not already trying to work for or achieve myself. Right.
And I see that a lot.
This is a lot more than a lot of women are doing, just to be specific. They want the man to have X, Y, and Z, and they're just not bringing anything to the table. They just have this high standard. So I just want to be transparent real quick. That second 6, don't have that one. Not yet. That's
but guess what? Yet. Let's talk about manifestation, because we're gonna get you there.
Yeah, I'm a couple thousand away, but I'm there. I'm on the way. I'm on the track.
But guess what, Ryan? I used to dream about this, and when we get to my motivational moment, I'm gonna give you some words of encouragement. I wasn't always at this point, and Shonda knows this story.
Definitely.
I wrote it down. That was a dream of mine. So I figured out what I needed to do to get to it, and I'm not gonna go into that. I don't want to change the subject.
You wrote a book on
it. When I made it to that moment, I remember crying. I remember crying when I got my first paycheck.
Yeah.
That I made it. I finally made it. And so now that we both are there, now it's millions. So now what's up here now is making 7 figures.
That's the next goal. Yeah. That's where I was at with my professorship. When I became a full-time professor, it was one of those things I had been working on for like a decade, and that's where I wanted to be. So it's the same thing as that milestone, and that comes with things too. So phenomenal. Okay. So you have your initial 666 rule. That's your preferences. That's what you desire. But you're somewhat flexible depending on what else is going on with them and where they are and what's okay. So we're on the same page as far as it's okay. That's the second question. Is it okay for us to have a type? Is it okay for us to have a particular preference for who we are interested in dating? Even if it's purely physical, is it all right for us to have a personal preference for who we either are attracted to or who we want to pursue or who we desire? Even if it does change, is that okay?
Of course, I like a manly man. I like a man that is strong, and that is strong physically and strong when he's speaking and assertive. I don't want a wimp. I don't.
I don't know many people who do, but you're just saying I
But there
clearly
are
need
some
you to
men
not
that
even.
are out there that's naturally, and let me take him out wimp because everyone's just maybe not vocal
or when they say women wear the pants, it should be the other way. How do you feel about that, Sean?
Not even that, because you have some men who are providers and who do this or that, but then when it comes to
not very assertive, they're not very
they're
assertive.
not assertive, or they
not
don't
very masculine in a sense.
Yeah,
Their energy
you got
is
to be
somewhat
masculine.
reserved,
Like, walk in the room,
passive,
be like, "What? Yeah, I'm here. What is it?
Very
what?
passive. Yeah, okay.
I need that."
So there you go. So that's going to be energy that's the energy that you're attracted to and that you look for, and that's it. Okay, so and obviously we know what
I ain't looking no more. Used to.
We used to, and you found it, and so there you go. So it all worked out. Yeah, I just was curious about those things. You know, what do we think about it? Again, there's a lot of this is really superficial and it's initial in the relationship as far as physical attraction. And I actually, you know, not to get too deep into the subject, but I've actually been in situations, and not too recently, or I should say somewhat recently, where I found myself attracted to somebody in the past. I've been in a situation where I didn't think I would be attracted to them because of external physical appearances. And then for a long time, that initially had to be checked. And when that was checked, we would date. And then obviously those didn't work out because, by the way, spoiler alert, superficial characteristics and looks are not enough to carry a relationship. So I don't care if you're attracted to them at first.
Not at all.
But what I found is that there's so many internal traits, characteristics, and aspects about somebody that can really compensate and make up for what you don't really think you want initially on the surface. In other words, the looks that you don't think you want, or the looks that aren't there that you think you want from somebody when they're not, but those other aspects are, it really makes you realize, wow, they're not as important as I thought they were. Now, you need to be attracted to the person that you're with. Absolutely. Attraction is paramount. Now, how you come about that attraction, though, I'm realizing can come about in different ways. It's not purely fit. It doesn't have to be just purely physical. There is just purely physical attractiveness. But oftentimes, again, not to get too deep, when you have a relationship that's just purely based off of purely physical attraction, that fades because you habituate and you get used to them. And then you have nothing else of substance to be attracted to or respect. That goes away. So not to go too far in with that, but I was just curious about if it's okay, if it's normal, and what your idea, what y'all's take is on a type, on a preference, on who you prefer to be with. Talk to me, TK.
I was going to say that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, TK.
No, I wanted to bring up Sarah's comment. She goes, maybe I need to change my preference. And that's what I want to throw back to you, Ryan. Sometimes I do think preferences can limit the possibility of really being with someone that may love you the way that you need to be loved.
That's what I found out about myself.
Wait a minute, TK.
Okay, go ahead.
Repeat that, please. Slowly for the people in the back. One more time, boo.
I just feel like if you have too many preferences, or if you have too many high standards, you're limiting the man that probably is there trying to love you.
Or woman.
You're right. Sorry, this is both ways. So I do think we need to be a little open to changing some of our preferences, especially to me, if the man is giving you attention, because even the man who falls into my 666 rule can treat me like crap. So then those becomes the traits that I will get rid of him. The 666 is just that first attraction, but then you get to know someone and see their behavior and characteristics and things like that. But it could be that guy who can really truly love you. But if you just want to go look for a certain guy, you are just setting yourself, I guess you're limiting yourself to maybe finding your true love. I don't know.
I'm going to speak to that. So, Sean, did you have something to chime into before I speak to that? And also I had a question for you, TK.
Yeah, I know I'm old. I probably forgot. I think you was talking about the physical attraction. I said for me, unless I know the person that we've always, like we work together, whatever the case may be, the physical attraction is probably what's going to even have the conversation. Not saying I'm superficial or anything. I'm just, if we're out and we're actively looking, or we're seeking, and we're in a club or a restaurant, that first thing you're gonna do is, oh, she's cute, or oh,
right.
Cute. And that's what starts the conversation. But then now it's time to pay attention to different things that may or may not be your preference. Now you pay attention to, do I like that he smokes and drinks? Do I like that
Right.
he don't do this? So that's when people need to start paying attention. That's when red flags and stuff come into play as well.
That behavior. Pay
You're
attention to
so
the
you're
behavior.
so right, Shonda. You're basically piggybacking off of what TK just said. And so I think that what I even just bringing it back to the personal, what I'm realizing about patterns of behavior or tendencies is it's natural to gravitate towards, I should say, look for someone you're initially physically attracted to then see if you find everything else with that person. But go back to TK's point. The problem with that is if you limit yourself to just this ideal physical attractive person, what if the conversation that you're looking to have that's phenomenal is with that person right there that doesn't exactly fit into that physically appealing box? You just missed out on an amazing person. It's really weird. And so I guess, guys, what I'm getting to out here is that I think that, and this isn't just a guy thing, we're wired as humans to gravitate towards who we're attracted to physically very often. I mean, that's first. But fellas, I guess what I'm trying to tell you from experience and also personally and professionally, be mindful about the process in which you think you have to follow, or the process in which you think you have to go along with in order to find your mate. You might have the frame like I did for a long time, which is it's very important for me to be attracted to the person I'm going to be with. So let me start with that. And then I'll see if everything else falls in place. If they have the intellectual capacity, if they have the integrity and the morals and so on. But guys, I'm just trying to tell you that sometimes you could get snuck up on and you actually could find someone who's a very, very high character person with a lot of great qualities and characteristics that might fit into that might fit into whatever that ideal is that you have, even if initially the physical attractiveness was not whatever your standards are. So I don't think you should change your standards. I think you should have them, but don't limit yourself to just those. Be open to meeting whoever, then you go backwards. So those are really two really, really good points. And that's what I wanted to speak to what you said, TK. Question though, TK, both of you all, this is more so for TK because it's her rule. Shonda, you also can maybe, I don't know, speak to this as well. Y'all are women of God. What does the church say about your 666 rule, TK?
That God said multiply, so they know that sex is in the Bible. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just say it. Like, they know if we multiply,
I'm trying to get clarification
he
about.
gotta know what he's working with. We
That's
gotta know what he's working with. You understand me?
All right.
That's not my ministry. I'm not answering that question.
Okay. All right. I just thought that.
Listen, I gotta make sure I'm satisfied.
But she did answer you. But Ryan, she did answer you. Be equally
she
yoked.
Did.
So
yes,
that's it right there. If you're not equally yoked, it's not gonna work.
I mean, it wasn't 777, it wasn't 555, it was 666 is what we're looking for. So I just didn't know if that,
because I haven't achieved that 7-figure yet, so I can't ask for that either. So.
The devil is a lie. Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so let me go a little further with this topic number one. I want to share something with you all. I'll share a short story and then I'll share a post, a picture, a snippet. So this question for topic one, dating preferences and how much they matter, it actually stemmed from an experience that I had last week. So my Instagram was locked without any rhyme or reason last Tuesday. Don't know why. There's speculation on my end and some people I've spoken to, but it was locked. Couldn't get into my account and I didn't know what to do about it. Didn't get a reason or anything like that. But I did connect some dots. And so I want to share with you all a post. Now let's just review, first of all, a couple reasons why you may get locked out of your account. Suspicious activity, somebody trying to hack your account or log in too many times. Instagram might lock your account. This is what I found out from research. Second reason why, maybe there's bots or some sort of a third-party app and that's kind of causing a problem. It might lock that as well. But your account might also get locked if you violate the policies of Instagram or any of these social media platforms. And that might happen if somebody reports you for some sort of a post or violation. I want to share with you all the post, the literal post. This is just for conversational purposes. This post is not being posted by Talk Miami Talk Show or anybody here. This is just a conversation like we would about a picture anywhere. I want to show you all what I posted on my story, probably hours at the most hours prior to getting my account locked. So I put this image on my story and I commented on it, but I want to show you what the post was that I found. And then I want to speak to the post. This was the post. This ran across my timeline. Shauna, I believe you saw this on Twitter as well, separately. So this came up and I thought, this is on my timeline. I thought, this is interesting. What it says is fight bigotry. 98% of straight men are unwilling to date trans women because of hatred. This has to change. And what I thought was, that's not true. I mean, one, I'm a straight man. And I thought about, I don't know if I'm just that 2%, but I doubt that 98% is actually accurate. Then I thought about why I would not date a trans woman. And I thought, is that mean that am I hateful? Am I transphobic? And then I thought, no. And then I elaborated in my post on my story why I would not date a trans woman. And I simply put that I wouldn't date a trans woman, not because of hatred. I wouldn't date a trans woman because she can't have my babies. That's it.
Right.
That's all I put.
Right.
We go back to preferences. We go back to types, or whatever you want to call it.
Homophobic for that.
Yeah, so I'm transphobic now because I say the reason why I wouldn't date someone who's a transgender woman, and if there's anybody who's trans in the comments, I'd love to hear, or you could post your comments, share with us, or if there's anybody listening in the comments below, give me your feedback because I'm always listening to see what your take is. My take was pretty clear. I'm not going to date a trans woman, not because she's trans per se, but because biologically she can't have my babies. That's not hatred. That's not bigotry. That's biology.
That's it. Point, Ryan. Simple. I didn't even think of it that way.
There's only one reason why. I mean, at the end of the day, because let me tell you something. From an aesthetic standpoint, there are some fine ass transgender women out there.
Listen, they don't fool.
Listen, they don't fool me. I can't.
Correct. So it's not going to be just purely aesthetics there. The reason why, once you find out, then once you find out, it's not, obviously you feel duped because you think you're dating a biological. I'm speaking as a man, generally speaking here. You think you're dating a biological woman, but you're not. You're dating a transgender woman. So the issue is not so much I hate you because you're transgender. It is, wow, I'm looking to date a woman who can have my babies, and a transgender woman cannot do that. It's really as simple as that. I thought that at least my followers, the people who follow me, at least would understand that, and if not, really kind of at least respect the perspective. But I don't know. I don't know if somebody
reported you.
I don't know if someone interpreted that as transphobic and they reported me. I don't know if it was purely a coincidence. I don't know. But what do you all think about the preference for a straight male to have the preference for a biological woman and not a transgender woman? Is that bigotry or is that asinine?
No, that's your preference. And your business. I don't understand why that's even being called bigotry.
Right.
That's not bigotry. Everyone is not transphobic, homophobic.
We're not anti. Remember, we talked about this, Shauna. Just because I'm pro something doesn't mean I'm anti the opposite. I'm just pro black. That doesn't mean I don't like other races. So it's like, come on.
Exactly. So use that one. You put it out there, TK. Thank you. If you prefer to date a black man because maybe you have more in common, maybe it's another reason, whatever the case is, that doesn't mean that you're racist.
No, not at all.
To think that because you don't date someone, it makes you transphobic or it makes you a bigot because you prefer blondes over brunettes or brunettes over blondes. I think, and I put on my story.
I'm going to ask Mama Gloria, what you mean fertilizer? But she was finishing, she was typing out her question. I said, wait, fertilizer? They walk around with fertilizer now to have babies?
So I got the fertilizer, but she ain't got the seeds. You know what I'm saying? Right. The transgender woman ain't got the seeds. So your fertility is.
We got you, Mama Gloria.
No, I put in the story. I said, look, it's not hatred. It's just a preference. And I said, we got to stop spreading and condoning ignorance like the post that I showed you. Now, to be fair, I did do some research in looking for the post, and it is the internet, Wild Wild West. In the short time I was looking for the post, I did find a separate post that accused or supposedly said that post was created by someone fictitiously to try to get people to talk about this in a way that so I don't even know if the post is genuine or not, but
you fell right for it.
I don't know, and I'm going to be fair to say it might even be.
Who's to say that person is telling the truth? Sometimes it could have been.
Right.
Anybody post stuff these days just to get a reaction.
Let's just pretend and let's just talk about whether or not, like, if someone does think this, we need to be rational and we need to be, critical thinkers about this and be able to say objectively, let's take the emotions out of it. Let's talk about why someone might choose this and not that over this, and not go straight to hate. So even if it's fictitious, you can just still, if we're thinking in terms of somebody is a bigot because of their own personal choices, we have to pump the brakes on that, because not everything is about hate. Like you said, just because you're pro something doesn't mean you're anti something else. So a little bit more tolerance and a little bit more understanding, and just pumping the brakes when things are posted or there's things out there that you might have oversensitized yourself to things, because there is extreme hate out there. There's no denying that, but not everything is hateful. And sometimes things make sense that strike you differently, or maybe strike you wrong initially. But after you think about them, you understand, actually, that's a legitimate different point of view. Let me not report this person. Let me not get all worked up. Let me not completely even disagree. They might have some truth to them. My post was simply, we have to at least be open to doing that. And that brings me to topic number 2, because I went to my mom's this weekend and told her what happened. She wanted to know why my account was, thank you, Shonda, or TK, whoever's got my back. Both of you.
It was me.
Shonda.
Appreciate it. You're on the comments though. Y'all got my back. I went to my mom's and I told her what happened. And my mom's she's a big supporter of mine. She's only on social media for me. She's on Facebook and on Instagram for me and to support my stuff. But I went and I told her, I said, Mom, look what happened. And I said, this is why, this is what happened. And I don't know why. I don't know, if my account was blocked. You can take that slide down, Shonda. I don't know if my account was blocked or locked because of this incident, but check this out. And I basically had the conversation initially that we just had just now. Essentially, I had that same conversation with her. And what it went to was me trying to tell my mom, listen, because my mom's like, you got to stop looking for that stuff. You got to stop going down these rabbit holes. And she's right. Don't use social media as a place to go look for stuff, because you will get sucked in. But I had to tell my mom, look, Mom, it's not that I'm looking for it. Shonda wasn't looking for it. It's just out there being shared, right? It just comes on the timeline. And at that point, my mom's right. You do have to consider and think about how you're going to respond to it, if you're going to respond to it, or if you're going to just keep it moving. That's really the self-control we have to have with the internet. But I tried to tell my mom the reason why I actually reposted it and commented on it was not to get into the back and forth at all. It was to counter something that I saw as ignorant and uninformed. It was to counter that and to try to educate people with a different perspective. And so that brought me to topic 2, which is, as far as social media is concerned, social media as an educator or a platform to educate, should we use it? Should we use social media to try to help educate and inform people, particularly the youth? Or is it a waste of time? What's y'all's take on that? How we can or should use social media to combat, or not even combat, other ignorance, just to promote information in the form of educating our youth particularly?
I got something to say. Shonda, you want to go first?
Shonda, look on Shonda's face. It's going to be short and sweet.
Well, because I have the yes and the no. Because I use social media to educate with pain and purpose. I do. And thankfully, I have not. Well, I take the back. I've had some negative feedback. I've had some ignorant comments. I've had people I've had to ban and block from our nonprofit page, because some people, no matter what you say, are looking for a reason to disagree. They wake up in the morning to see who posted what, just so they can disagree.
Argue and troll.
Let me see who life I can mess up today.
Right. They just do it. Like, they will post some of the most ignorant, stupid foolishness just so somebody could say something to them. So now they have a whole argument for the day.
Yeah.
So I do use it and will continue to use it, but I've seen people who literally are trying to educate and do other things, and all you have is people going back and forth of why they don't think that person is correct, or why it won't work because you said it will. I'm telling you why it won't work. Like they're invested in being argumentative no matter what. For sure. So I think it is a good place to educate, because even though there are people out there negative and ignorant, there are people out there who are getting the information, who do need it, and who will use it. Because I've learned stuff on social media as well that I didn't know. You know what I mean? So it just depends on where you're getting the information from, and always research. I know sometimes we see stuff and we just post it or share it, and a lot of times we don't kind of research it. But if it's something so off the wall and crazy, I'm going to research it, because I'm like, let me check this out before I post it. like not to get off topic, but like I heard the other day what Illinois is doing about throwing away cash bond.
I
I
want to
said
talk
this
about
is
that, Shonda. I want you to talk about it when you host. I want to talk about that as a whole separate topic. Sorry, I
yeah,
didn't mean
we
to cut
are
you off, but that's a conversation. But
right.
go ahead.
I
That's
Go
going
just
to
ahead.
be
thought
a
it was fake.
2-hour episode.
I thought it was
That's,
fake. I promise you, that just can't be real. So I
it
had to
can't
go
be
research
real.
it, and
We're
I was
living in where we see
afraid.
stuff where you want to think that it's fake because it doesn't. It's so asinine. It doesn't make sense,
Right.
but it
Right.
is. It is
It
true.
is.
These,
It
these
is.
are the people that we're living amongst. So I guess my
Yeah.
question was, TK, we'll go to you. I know you had your hand up, which is,
Mhm.
what role do we play in terms of combating that, or at least posting something that offers a different perspective or more information for people to research? Look, research everything I post.
You're
Don't
a
take it for
professor.
what it is.
You're a professor, right?
Professor, and I still want you to go double check and fact check.
So
Go
I'm
ahead,
gonna
TK.
take us. I'm gonna take us back to the classroom. Whenever we have to write a paper or even our thesis, we can say what we want, but what's the first thing you want to do is look at that source. You want to make sure that the information that we're putting out there is accurate. And where did you get that from?
That's the
And that's
least you
what
can do.
you can't believe everything that you see on social media. So I am like Shonda, is a pro and a con to it, right? Because I do believe that social media is a way to reach a large amount of people, to educate for things that like Shonda is doing. It is a great way to reach an amount of people in a fast time. Look how quick did we find out about the Queen when she died. That was universal, worldwide, and look how fast it traveled. So social media does have its pros. However, you're going to have certain people to start creating things that may not be factual. So you
Right.
just can't go around believing, like Shonda said. Make sure you do your research. Look at the facts. Look at where the content is coming from. Of course, if this is a tabloid, they get paid to make up stuff.
Yes. They have satire websites that will look real. I always scroll down to the bottom of the website to see what it says at the bottom. This is a satire website. And I learned that from social media. I didn't know. I
Yeah.
would see um, um, posts that look like actual news stations. But when you look at the stories, it's so crazy. This can't be real. And I remember someone told me, go scroll all the way down, and you're going to see for entertainment purposes only. So it just depends on, like, we have to know how to research what we see. Even when
Exactly,
it comes to
Shonda.
church and the Bible, they tell you, don't just listen to me, research it for yourself.
There you
Because a
go.
lot of times it's going to be some stuff you
Fact
need to
check.
look up.
Fact check.
That's the missing link. So the issue I think that we're having is we've gotten the internet, the information available has been so diluted with people who are intentionally trying to use clickbait to get attention, and they're using lies and they're using fake information. I think what's happened is people are exhausted. They don't want to do their own. They want one link or one site. And as soon as they get two different ones, they think, wow, hell, who's right? I don't know who's right. Never mind all of them. And now they throw all information away. And why? Because first of all, I just want my information. Just give me the facts, give me the proof. And then if you have something that's contradicting that, or you have multiple sources, it's too much work, or we're lazy. Just cognitively, we're just lazy. So I think the challenge is not so much that information is available or not available. I think, Shonda, you said it. We really have to really teach our children, and really as a society, emphasize the point is you have to be a critical thinker and figure it out on your own. The information is there, but you have to come up, use deductive reasoning, use logic, find your sources, combat one post with 9 other ones that are actually all saying the same thing, and the one is an outlier. This is stuff that you have to do on your own. You can't expect someone to hand deliver. I mean, you can. You're going to end up being that sheep that gets brainwashed and sucked in if you rely on some sort of form of information. So unfortunately, the sources are suspect, so people don't trust any source at all. I don't think that's the answer. I think it's continue to be diligent and skeptical and look for information, one. But then two, I think going back to, should we use social media to educate? And the reason why you all maybe had a yes and a no to that, I think the question is, to what extent do we go as far as our expectations for other people to learn? I don't think that we need to go to the extent that we follow up and we try to think that we have to make a difference. I think that's what you do. If you have something that you have to offer, or information that you can educate other people with, post it, share it, and then leave it alone. It's out there. Your followers will see it, or they won't. They'll take it for what it's worth. They'll add it to what they're already doing research about. But what's happening is the internet and social media is it's a big pot. It's a big hat. People are throwing information into it. And the more bullshit that's in that pot, the more our kids are going to pull out. So we need to throw information in there that when they pull it out, they're like, oh, I got this, but I also got this over here. Never thought about that. If we don't post an alternative perspective or information that can educate them, it's not in the pot. It's not even out there. And now our children are diluted with a bunch of misinformation. I don't even like that word misinformation, but a bunch of information that's either false, accurate, or not helpful. We're not educating them about another perspective to just consider with everything else they're getting. So my take on using the internet to educate is post information and share information that will help facilitate another perspective along with all the other foolishness or information that's out there. And then hope people are critical thinkers enough to take all of it and weigh it all out. But if children don't even have our perspective to weigh out, then they're doomed. They're going to get pulled into whatever else is out there.
Ryan, you know they're not teaching it in the times we live in.
They're not. That's why we got to do it.
Yep.
Through podcasts
it's not being taught anymore.
No, through podcasts like this, through posts, through videos, we have to continue to encourage whoever we're reaching to consider alternatives, to look at new information, to consider different perspectives. And hopefully after a few generations, that becomes the norm again, regardless of what the hell this social media machine is doing, whatever nonsense is out there. That was my take on topic 2, as far as how should we use social media to educate. I don't think we should use it expecting for the world to change because we're putting something out there and this should change it. But it adds to the change. It adds to the potential of people changing how they see things or how they look at things. That's what I was thinking about.
No, good topic.
This world has gone completely insane.
And there's no way it's going to change or shift back to sane unless there's something pushing up against the insanity. And that's kind of what I was talking to my mom about as well. Yes, she's right. There does need to be a pendulum that swings and pushes in one direction to get change, to get things going. But if nobody puts their hand up and says, okay, that's far enough. We got what we needed. Everyone's got equal rights, let's just say, or everyone's got awareness, let's just say, or we got what we need there. How much further do we go? Well, if nobody stops it, human behavior is going to take over, and I'm going to take whatever I can get, even if it's more than I need and it's infringing on you. So we have to see, where's that pendulum at? Is it going too far? And we have to be the ones through posts, through education, to say, all right, here's another way. Let's not just run with this and kind of buy into it and be sucked into this movement, just because it's what's happening. So I think you're right, Shonda. There's some insanity out there. And the only way that it gets checked is if we check it. And I think we can do that in a respectable, professional, classy way. But I think that the more we do that, and we do say, hold on a second, there's another way. Let's not just jump the gun and call it bigotry. How about this? The more we start doing that and pump the brakes, then that pendulum slows down and we end up maybe where we need to be in the middle. That's just how I'm seeing it. What do I know? But I think that it really starts with us speaking our truth and posting things out there for us to offer for the universe to consider along with everything else that's there. Last words about that topic for you ladies.
It's amazing to me how the social media police will come and ban you, but some of the stuff I see out there stays on my thread.
What?
With constant fights and reality. And I'm like,
but not only that, adults marrying children, all type of stuff.
Yes, but that doesn't get banned.
Snakes, all type of things are on social media and it's never taken down.
Not taken down, not addressed, not spoken to. Yep. That's what I mean. How far do we have to go? Do things have to get crazy to that extent before we're like, oh yeah, that's happening? Yeah, it's been happening, but you didn't want to say anything because you're like, oh, that's just an outlier. That's just one. It's just one.
Right.
One's too many. We need to start at least considering, hey man, people are conducting themselves this way. And so I'm glad you ladies at least have the mentality, the mindset where you totally get that and you understand that and you're receptive to it. And I'm sure our listeners, I'm sure they have the same mentality, which is, yeah, we need to consider different perspectives out here and not just be sucked into one way of doing things.
One thing my mentor taught me, and that will stick with me forever, and I make sure I share that with my mentees, is that she said, TK, trust but verify.
Oof, for sure.
You could trust. Shonda, I love you dearly. I could trust somebody, but if she tells me something, I gotta.
You better believe it.
I knew she was gonna say something, right? Okay, I'm not gonna use you for an example because she's gonna check me.
It's somebody else.
But okay, like at work, if someone said TK,
if I call you, said girl,
hey, you already know you and I have that thing too, for real. But say something at work, if somebody told you something at work that, okay, Ryan, you're a professor. And if one of your other professors said, hey, I went to your class, I turned in this and I did this, like, here's all these instructions. And you're like, okay, great, thank you. But if it was a responsibility of yours, I hope that you verify that what they actually said or did actually happened.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to trust somebody, but not to see that they actually followed through.
Yeah.
I always make sure that I go and verify what was being said or done.
That's where people get accused of having trust issues when they're saying, look, I trust you, but I want to verify. That's not mistrusting you. That's just confirming.
That's just confirming. Good word. Just
confirming that you did what you said you were going to do, and that I believe that you did what you were going to do. So there's no issues, no questions about it. I think it was Ronald Reagan actually that's credited for that with that quote.
Yeah.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify.
Phenomenal quote.
Always.
Well, that's my situation. I didn't know what else to talk about tonight that was going to be more at least pressing for me, and also that I could get a take from a better audience to get what better audience to get a take from. And if there's anybody listening, please drop in the comments your perspective or your take to anything that we said here that might help. If you agree with what we're talking about and you can expand or elaborate on it, we're always trying to see what y'all's take is. Obviously, we interact and we converse during the show, but you all are a huge part of our show, because we're doing this to facilitate conversations for you all to have with amongst yourselves, your families and friends, but also to give us feedback so that we can shout it from the mountaintop that we have, which is this show. So it's a relationship for our fans to be involved. You can share this, you can talk about this, you can get back to us. So if you're in the chat now, leave a comment. But obviously, if you're listening to the replay of this, definitely you can leave a comment, and you can reach out to any of us on Instagram and DM us or Facebook and leave a comment. This is really the beauty of social media, what we're doing here. Go ahead, TK.
Ryan, no, I was going to tell you, Sarah has a comment for you.
Sarah says, I saw a Facebook post. I went to the source and the Facebook post was so wrong. I went back to the post and it had been deleted. Find facts before you post. Let me tell you something, Sarah. My friends will send me stuff all day long, images, memes, and so on. And the first thing when I get that post is I look to see if there's any reason to think that it's fake. Not because I don't trust anything, but because I know how the internet works. Yeah. And so they'll send me stuff all the time where I either will go verify and show, that's Photoshopped. Then I'll send them the original and I'll ruin it for them. Their joke is ruined. It's like, oh, I thought that was real. Yeah, the video's fake. That was a deep fake or whatever. And I'll ruin it for them, but I don't care. It's fake. Stop sending it. Stop talking about it, because this fiction becomes reality for us the more we think these fake things actually are real. So very good, sir.
Have y'all ever used Snopes to verify?
You can,
no,
yeah.
Yeah. No,
I've used Snopes for years. Babe, you ain't gonna post me no foolishness. I'll be right back. Let me go check.
Wait, so what is it, Shonda?
It's a website where it fact checks posts and issues and things that have happened. So I haven't used it a lot lately, but I've always used to go on Snopes. It's Snopes.com, and you put in, I think you can type in maybe a post or something, and it'll show you that they fact checked it. Either it is true or it's not.
So, Shonda, what I found out about Snopes is during the height of the pandemic with COVID. Yeah. So I wanted to see, is this a neutral website where I could fact check something? And what I found is they're kind of sneaky over there at Snopes. If they don't want to either take a position on something, they'll say half true, half false. And they'll talk about why it could have been seen as true, but also why it could be seen as false. Now, I don't think that's misleading per se, but it might not tell you exactly whether or not. So again, it's another site, but it's a good place to go. You're doing your homework. I mean,
you're doing your homework. Yeah, exactly. That's good to know. I need that website.
It's one possible. Yeah. All right. Well, Cindy couldn't be with us tonight. I was going to go to Cindy's spotlight to see what she had for us. So we'll just go over to Shonda. We want to hear a little bit from Shonda and hear from Shonda in her community's corner. I know you have some things to share for us tonight. Shonda's community corner.
Wait, you hear it. Shonda, you hear it.
Ain't got it. I'm no Cindy.
Why I had so many pictures? That's what I said. Remember, I kept saying I'm forgetting to do something. I didn't upload the pictures, but whatever. We're gonna still roll with it.
You were worried about you helping me out with mine. Can I go find them for you and help you out?
No, it's okay. They're in my phone. I sent it to myself and didn't download it. It's okay.
What you got for us?
This weekend, there was something called, I know y'all have heard of Jazz in the Garden. Well, our commissioner, Commissioner Keone McGee, decided, and none other than TK Owens decided to put on something called Jazz in the Heights, where they had local artists come out. And I had so many good pictures. I feel so bad. While TK is talking, I'm going to look for my pictures. But they had some artists come out and, just come and celebrate the community itself and bring some type of entertainment to the community that was free for the community. They can sit out with their lawn chairs and their blankets and hear some jazz music, a little bit of R&B as well. There was nice out there. There were vendor trucks out there, food trucks out there, and vendors as well. And Pain and Purpose was out there educating the community on domestic violence and passing on information. So some of the people that were there, or the artists that were there, was Mays Conservatory Middle High Band, the Hardin Project, Kizzy the Violist, and BNS Band. I was there for most of the night. I think I left around 9 o'clock, but what I heard was great. TK is an awesome host. If you already heard her host something, she ain't free though. Only for me. Only for me. If y'all ever need her to host something, she is awesome. She had the crowd up and talking and dancing. I was waving at you. I don't know if you saw me, but I stepped out my booth and I was waving from the back. But I said she about as blind as I am. She couldn't see me. So that was a wonderful thing, and I believe we're going to try to have more of those events coming up in different areas. I hope. So also moving right along, as you all know, again the ball is coming up. I am Victoria's Survivor Ball. I'm so excited. The time has come. Like we've been planning forever, and the time is almost around the corner. So again, I would like to announce that our commissioner is now where's my picture? Lord, I was trying to help Ryan out and I left myself hanging. Our commissioner has vowed to become our title sponsor. So he will be sponsoring our event. Thank you so much, Commissioner Keone McGee of District 9 for becoming our title sponsor. We also have our Advocate for Change sponsor is Calvary Church, which is my church where I serve the Lord, honey. I love them.
Are you at Calvary, Shonda? I didn't know that. Okay, you never said that.
Yeah,
that's my church.
I'm familiar.
Yeah,
Shout out to Calvary.
You got to come out there and check us out.
I've been there before.
So yes, there are sponsors for the event. We are selling tickets. Ticket sales will end September 25th. So please, if you plan on coming, make sure that you purchase your ticket on our website. That website is purpose76.org. Go under events and you will see the flyer for the ball. We also have sponsorship links. So if you want to select the sponsorship, feel free and do so. We still need more sponsors. Now, with that being said, we also had a contest for our listeners and our viewers on our social media pages to get a contest for 2 tickets that were donated by Miss TK Owens.
Okay.
And also Cindy donated 2 tickets, but I gave those tickets to 2 of our past survivors so they can join the event. And the tickets that TK gave us, we gave them away. So our winner is being announced.
Hey, let's get a drum roll.
Our winner is being announced tonight. And the winner is Lady_Rain_ on IG. If you are watching, please contact me on social media at Pain the number 2 Purpose 76. I know you know it because you did your job. And I'm only announcing one winner because she's the only person on this side of Dade County that did what they were supposed to do. So
she understood the assignment.
And understood and executed. So there was a first, second, and third prize. And she will be getting all of those prizes because she was the only one that did what she's supposed to do. So I'll be giving her a t-shirt and a mug and 2 tickets to the ball. So Miss Lady Rain, please contact me. I will contact you anyway to give you your tickets for the ball.
That is awesome, Shonda.
That is it for Shonda's Community Corner.
Yay! And guys, we will all be there. You get to meet Ryan. You get to meet me, Shonda. We will all be there. So please make sure you get your tickets. We will all be there in support of Shonda. Shonda, can you just give them like a 30-second recap of what to expect that day?
Yes. So the Survivors also has so much to talk about. I forgot. The Survivors Ball. We are highlighting men who have suffered or went through traumatic experiences, especially domestic violence. We also have a male who will be talking about he survived sexual abuse. So we also have a gentleman whose daughter was murdered. So even though he was not the victim or he's a survivor because he
Survivor.
lost his child
Mm.
to domestic violence. So all of them will be sharing their stories. We have Mr. Damon Thomas. You all have seen him. He's a friend of the show. He's flying in to come support this event. He's also one of our survivors. We will have entertainment there. We will have Mr. Adrian Bell. He is a prophetic, wonderful, talented and gifted dancer, and I love to see him. He has been at every ball that we've had. We have Mr. Sean Jarrett, who is my oldest baby. He will perform one of his original raps that he's written, and I'm so sorry I don't remember the other gentleman's name, but he will be performing a spoken word piece on domestic violence. So I'm so excited about this event. Mr. Ryan is our MC. Elijah Roberts is our MC.
Y'all got a couple hosts. Who's a host of these events? You got a couple hosts. Mention the host. Who's hosting the event?
I know you got your baby boy.
Our host for the night, none other. Can I have the drum roll again? Let me do this right.
Oh, she
none other than Professor Ryan. Well, you got so many names. Ryan David Barton.
Ryan David Adams Barton, aka Mr. AB, aka Ryan David, aka the host with the most. Oh, that's just for that night.
That's you are.
AK White Chocolate.
White chocolate.
And I'm going to be joined by.
Drum roll again. University of Miami student athlete number 99, Mr. Haji QB himself. Elijah Roberts will be emceeing as well. Hey. We also have our keynote speaker is Brother Lau Muhammad.
He's been on the show before.
He's been on the show before. He is the founder, I believe, of Circle of Brotherhood.
Yes,
and I believe that's it. I think I've announced everybody. TK is just coming to watch. I ain't got her working tonight, but watch. I'm gonna find something.
She's gonna find something for me to do.
She's not gonna just sit there and be cute. She's gonna be working. So I hope you all can come. I really hope you all can come out. Let's fill the room and support these men. The main reason why I wanted to do this because men feel like we only talk about women being survivors or victims, and that men feel that we don't think that they also can be survivors or victims. And I know that is not true. So I'm hoping you all spread the word. Even if you can't make it, support someone else that can come. Maybe purchase a ticket for somebody else, have someone else show up. But invite your brothers, your cousins, your husbands, the men in your life to come and let them know it's okay to share their story. Our voice has power. And no one wins but the abuser when we don't share our story. 100%. So I hope you all can come.
Thank you, Shonda. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. That's a topic that we're going to have to get both men and women involved equally to overcome. This can't be just a female issue. I mean, obviously there's men that suffer as victims as well. But this is something that is so horrific to experience, male or female. We're going to have to be united on this front to address it. So it's an honor to be able to host that event. I'm looking to learn a lot, actually, just even as the host, to learn a lot from the people who are there and obviously spread that awareness for sure with that topic. So real quick, I was going to ask, I had a question. Oh, I was going to give a shout out to Keon. We graduated high school together. I'm pretty sure he was 97. He might've been in class of 96. Shout out South Dade, Keon McGee. He was we went to school together. He's a success story, that guy.
Let's give Shonda some likes and hearts, guys. We're here to support you, Shonda.
Yeah,
I found my pictures. Can I get one more minute?
Look at this.
You found them?
Okay,
she's back.
I just uploaded them real quick.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so these are some of the artists that were there.
Yeah.
Just wanted to show you. Look at our friend. Look at her. Yes, honey. And she is a fool if y'all have never seen her act up in person. I'm not sure what this is, but okay, these are some donations that were given out to bands, right?
Nice. Yes. No, to actually all of the community partners. Yes. Wow. Community educators.
Wow.
Awesome. And this is the crowd. Look at that crowd.
Wow.
Look at that crowd. That was just a piece of it. There's pictures, there's people all the way to the right, to the left. It was a beautiful crowd. I'm so glad people came out. Even though it was a hot evening, people still came out. It was hot early. I think people were coming. Y'all see right here, look, see this purple tent? That's me.
Yes, it is.
That's paying the purpose right there. We were there.
Hey, what park was it? It was Richmond Heights Park?
Richmond Heights Park. Yeah.
I figured that. Okay.
And then there's Commissioner McGee and TK as well.
Oh my
Mm.
God. You got to send me these pictures, Shonda.
It was a great night. It was a great night. And I enjoyed it. I was just tired because you know how my day went, but I enjoyed it.
Yes. You're
Good
still
stuff.
dedicated.
Good. Shout out to you for doing that. And I know you stay doing things like that, even though you're tired and exhausted when Monday night gets here after that weekend of all that work. You're still here. Same with TK.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on.
We
Appreciate
do.
you. I just realized, TK, man, I done gave away my height on this public podcast, bro. And talking about we're gonna go to TK now. You don't know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and catch the replay. Rewind
Yeah,
it and
they're
check
gonna
it.
slide in my DM asking questions about you, Ryan. Listen,
Chill. I'm gonna go ahead and
with my blue tape.
Exactly. I have nothing to say.
Oh man, family, bro. I'm gonna throw it over to you, TK. We're gonna go to TK for her motivational moment. Let me give you your due here. I gotta get you with the TK's motivational moment for the evening. You're gonna close us out here, TK.
Yes.
Give us some words tonight as we close out the evening and let us know what you have for us today. TK, it's all yours.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really choose what I'm going to say to you guys based on when I wake up that Monday morning. And the feeling that I got was just overwhelmed with joy of what just took place this weekend. Shonda actually just highlighted Jazz in the Heights. But some of you guys may not know this, that was once just a vision. Keone and I sat down maybe about a month ago, and he just came to me with an idea. And then that's how the conversation started with him and I. We're both from down south. I'm from West Perrine. He's from, I believe it's in Naranja, Florida City. I believe Naranja. And we just want to bring something to bring the community together down south. And we invented Jazz in the Heights. And he literally just took off running to the point that he did all of the legwork, him and the team McGee family, that all I had to do is show up. And he goes, TK, I created this platform so you can come in and just be who you are. And I was just so honored that he gave such a high platform like that to us, because it's not just about me. And to me, after looking in that audience and seeing over 1,000 people, we only had 1 week, guys, to promote that event, and look at the turnout. And I looked at him and I said, Keone, this is just the beginning of a movement, because now we want to take this and hit all of his District 9 locations. So the next one will be in Homestead. And then after that, we'll go to Perrine. And then we'll come back to Naranja, then Goose. And this is just bringing the community together for a community block party where we get to come together to have fun, food, bring in different businesses, local talent. And so when I got a chance to see what we visualize turn into reality, I decided to choose someone that I follow dearly, which is Walt Disney. And I want to talk to all the dreamers that are out there. And he says, and I quote, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And let's really think about what Walt Disney has done. He has broken barriers to think, to visualize, and then turn that vision into a reality and dare to be different. And even though he has passed, he has actually equipped his team to make sure that they break barriers and that they have the opportunity. If you can see it and if you can believe it, I promise you guys, you can do it. A lot of people, I get criticized a lot, Shonda and Ryan, for being this big dreamer. I get criticized. I have a friend that calls me Tinkerbell because I'm always thinking big. But one thing that they can say about TK is everything that I ever dreamed of, I've done. Y'all better check it. There's only one more thing that I want to do before I leave this earth. So I'm not just a talker, I'm a doer. And I want to talk to everybody out there that has a dream of starting a business or starting something. Shonda, I remember when you wanted to start Queen Crafty. And I said, do it. And look at you now. Look at what you're doing. So I had to share that quote from Walt Disney because this is what motivated me to know how much he means to this world and the barriers that he continued to face. Take a look. A Black issue. But I love that Disney has used their platform to talk about other races, giving us the opportunity, because for so long, we didn't see ourselves when we looked at Disney movies. But now they have come out with Encanto, with the Latin community. Look at Aladdin, and then look at Lion King, and now seeing a Black young lady playing Ariel in The Little Mermaid. And if you don't think that representation matters, let's take a look.
Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that world.
Hold on, you're on mute, TK.
Wait. Start over again. Start over.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think it's because the video is playing.
Dreams are not just dreams, but dreams can become reality when you take the steps to take into action.
Oh, Ryan crying.
I know. No, it got emotional. I've cried probably 5 times watching that, because little girls now see themselves. Little Latin girls in Encanto finally see themselves. Aladdin brings back Princess and the Frog. I wish Cindy was here because she plays Princess Tiana. It now creates jobs for Cindy, who is a Disney princess. There was a day that this wasn't real to us. Yeah. And so I dare you to dream. I dare you to start that business. And if you need anybody that's going to cheer you on, call me, because Shonda would tell you. I would cheer anybody on and motivate and empower them. And I want to say this to the naysayers. Yes, I get criticized for dreaming big, but you don't have to worry about everyone else believing in what you see. Mm-hmm. As long as you believe in what you see, I promise you, if you take the necessary steps, it's going to happen. And so from my mouth to hopefully your ears, to God's ears, you guys receive my message. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, TK. Yeah. Wow. So very powerful stuff in a number of ways. I think the first thing that I'll speak to here is the fact that both of you all are doers. I think that's important. And I think that what you talked about, it starts with a dream. It does start with the dream. And I think that you really highlighted the fact that it does start with that vision and that dream, but also you add to the doing part of it. Big deal. I got emotional watching that because for a number of reasons, I guess, well, it's the kids for me. You know?
It's the kids.
Yeah.
It's the kids, and it's the idea of being I don't know what it is to be a young Black girl and love Disney shows and just love them for what they are, just because they're good stories. But then being familiar with, say, The Little Mermaid as a little Black girl, maybe, and then you see that preview, that promo, you didn't know that Ariel was Black in that promo to the very end. Right. They did it on purpose, and so it was that reveal that was pretty cool. And like you said, it's just a representation for those individuals. I think that, and I've thought about this a lot because there's remakes and there's movies, and not to talk about it for too long, but I think it's very powerful. It needs to be said. And I'm glad that you brought it up, TK. I think that the representation matters for reasons exactly like that. I think people have issues when there's remakes of originals that are based in real life, and they try to change the original, which is a true story. Ariel and Little Mermaid ain't no true story. We can redo that 7 different times with 7 different color mermaids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the
Right.
kind of things
But
where we
she is
can
a mermaid.
right. We can redo those, and you should not get upset about it. And so I think that it's something like that, that it is beautiful, and that representation and that sort of thing. And the people get upset because, oh, that's not the original. That's not how the original was. What original are you talking about? I mean, are you talking about Abraham Lincoln being black? Yeah, all right. That would be a little odd because he wasn't. But Ariel was a
that's
mermaid,
reality,
bro.
right? She was a character.
That's what
or
I'm
cartoon.
saying.
Yeah.
So that's why, for me, I throw out this whole argument about it being recreated, but it just was emotional in watching the kids, and that you recognize what you recognize. And so it's not that it matters because one's more than the other, but when you look in the mirror, who do you see? And so when you see that representation, you see some of yourself in somebody else. Now the dreams can kick in ways maybe they couldn't before, because you're seeing somebody in the place where you didn't think you could be because you never seen it before. So I think that's how I saw it, and that's why it did get to me. And I don't know, I got a soft spot for kids.
Look at you. We made him cry, Shonda.
It's that little girl crying for me. That was it for me, baby.
Oh man, yeah, man.
Promise
the kids,
you,
bro. The kids.
That's all I saw today when I went on social media was every little girl's reaction to this. So I put something together because it really does matter.
Yes,
guys. Let's even think about Serena Williams. She just retired, but look how she gave so many young Black girls, which a sport is dominantly not, you don't see too many Black Americans in that sport, but she gave us hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry, KT, go ahead.
No. I was just saying representation does matter because it then becomes real to us. Before that, we never thought we would see a Black president. I bet my ancestors, my great grandmother will probably never thought they would see the day until I actually was there when Barack was sworn in. He gave us hope now. So when a barrier is being broken, and that's why I love Disney, because such a $1 billion industry, maybe $1 trillion at this point, they have the power to influence, and someone in that organization dared to be different and had the courage to say, why can't she be Black? Or why can't we do a Latin? So it always takes that one person who believe and that changes things, that makes it a reality for us. So I hope you guys receive it. And
I think all it takes is one. And say what you want about Disney, they're really exploring right now this equality and this representation. They're exploring that, and they're going to certain links and certain issues in certain areas where we may have an issue with. But let's not forget about the purpose and the point of why they're doing it to begin with, hopefully. And it's for things like this. All it takes is one, whether it's Serena or it's just this one cartoon or mermaid. All it takes is one. It doesn't have to be 50-50 for it to matter or to be impress upon the kid's psyche. It just takes that representation at all that was never there before. I think that's what's also important, and it's not about it shouldn't be a fight or some sort of we really have to remember why we're doing this, and it's the outcome that's important. The process is whatever it is the outcome. So really, really good stuff. I didn't know, obviously, just for the audience, we're not really oftentimes aware of or don't know what the other hosts are going to bring to the table. We have our own segments. And so we tend to bring our content, and it's somewhat of a surprise for all of us. So whether it's what Shonda has in her corner or what TK is going to talk about with her moment, or my take, obviously, with what I talk about, we don't really know it. So we didn't know, and I didn't know. Hear it. So it was really good. I'm glad everybody got to hear that. I'm glad that you shared it. So, all right, any last words, anything last minute? And we talk about dreamers, to go back and talk about, everything what you said, which is kudos to you in terms of, people disrespect or disregard, dismissing you and counting you out. And you actually have accomplished the things that you've dreamed of. I think that 666 was one of your boxes as well. You checked that dream. You checked that dream as well. So very good. And on that note, just going back to that, I was thinking about it. I don't want anybody out there by any means to think that, we sometimes, in terms of that physical characteristics and qualities, if you don't, quote, measure up, or you don't fit someone else's standards because they have that, you shouldn't feel less about yourself.
Right.
If you're not quite 6 feet tall, that doesn't mean that you're less of a man or a woman or so on and so forth.
That's just TK's preference.
Correct. So I think that we need to be mindful and respectful just about the general point that TK is saying. That's her 3 boxes, or her rule. if you're out there and you're not quite, don't fit up, that's okay. You know, there's somebody out there, I promise you, where you're more than enough for them. So I just want to throw that out there with our jokes and all that stuff. Shonda, you good?
I'm hanging in there.
You know, at 8:45, like 8:46 exactly.
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, we went a little bit longer tonight. What we got in the comments? We still got some people still hanging with us. I know Monday Night Football done kicked off. I don't have a score yet. I'm about to go check it, but I'm wondering. I see some people are still hanging in there. They're still with us there. Thank you all for listening tonight. Obviously, give us some feedback. Like I said, comments below this episode. You can DM us. You can reach us. Let me just go ahead and throw that up there to show everybody where and how they can reach us. That clip, that little banner here. Here's the promo. You guys can follow us, obviously, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Talk Miami Talk Show. Subscribe on YouTube. And you can listen to us and our podcast for the Talk Miami Talk Show are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, obviously, and Google. There you go. There's the Talk Miami Talk Show. And again, connect with us and contact us through those platforms. Share us and stay in tune. We're trying to build something here where we can reach more people. Any last word, ladies, before we get out of here?
Can I say one more thing? I didn't even think about what was a vision and turned to a reality, Shonda. Remember when this podcast was just a vision?
Yeah.
I called each and every one of you guys to ask you, can you
about
join?
it for a month.
And so Ryan, this was a vision. And
I thought she was joking, honestly.
This was all just a vision. Yeah. It was during the pandemic. I was stuck in the house and I literally was like, I need to entertain people. And so this is how this show was born.
She was dead serious.
And I was dead serious. And next thing you know, we was live on air, right?
Right.
And so everything starts with a dream, everybody. So I encourage you to do what you want to do.
And do what TK did, which was start. We got 11, 20 people or so a night listening. You know, that's how it starts. But you have to start. If you don't start with one, then you're never going to get to two. You got to start. So just start. All right, good stuff. Thank you, ladies. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you all next week. Good night. All right, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, ladies.
Every time I see our intro, I laugh. Bye, everybody.
You see who?
The outro.